Live in the rack, man, for another edition of what we call Fusion Radio, man, with my brother, man, YTS Keys, man, been ripping me already, man. I think he's doing this. I sent this guest in the studio, which I'll tell y'all about in a second. I sent it to him. I think he's ripping me because after December 9th, we are on holiday vacation. So we won't be back until January 13th of 2024. So I think he's trying to get all his in-studio ribs in before December 9th.
It ain't even that. It's just, well, for the people that's out there listening that don't know, Brian got a 20-year gap on me, so I'll be trying to use that against him sometimes. So I have to ask him, like, when I was born in 2000, what was you doing in 2000? You just turned 20 years old. It'd be like things like that. I'd be just trying to pick his brain and see what type of time he be on. You feel me? That's all. That's all.
Well, it's Fusion Radio once again. Brian Stinson, YTS Keys, man, in the building, man. And I got a really super dope guest, man. Keys, introduce our guest to the people.
Yeah, for the people that don't know, man, we got my man, my main man, Philantropist in the building. My boy Pierre in the building. How you doing today, brother?
Man, what's going on? I'm doing good. Happy I'm here. Ready to just get it cracking, man, and ask all the questions for you, man. But no, man, I'm excited. I'm excited for you.
So, the first question I want to ask is, because a lot of people might not know this about me, but you know, I'm a musical artist, you feel me? But later down in the line, my plans is to actually become a philanthropist. So with you actually being a philanthropist, I just want to ask you, like, what certain things that come with being a philanthropist and what do you have to do to actually be a philanthropist?
Well, I think first and foremost, I think the misconception when people talk about being a philanthropist is that they automatically assume that you have to, it's about money, but it's really not only about money. You know, it's about, you know, your efforts, your time, and, you know, the advice and everything that you can contribute, and then also there's a financial aspect of it if you choose to go that route. But most importantly, you want to make sure that you connect with as many people and organizations as possible, and then see how you can be of help. You know, philanthropy is just all about helping and being in support of whatever cause it is that you're passionate about.
Okay. So you say causes that you're passionate about. So as far as like when it comes to you, what are you passionate about as far as like giving back to the community and stuff like that?
I'm really passionate about the youth, especially black men and young men. It's really a deficit of the support that they have. Being that I was once a young black man, I understand, and then I see the youth, and it's a lot of questions and conversations that I do have with them, and they express to me, you know, their concerns about male role models that's no longer in the neighborhoods or in the community, lack of resources, and then just being in a space of confusion. You know what I mean? So I try to lend a helping hand as much as I can, whether it's advice, whether it's guidance, whether it's being there, donating, whatever the case may be. But just outside of that, you know, helping in any way possible. You know, feeding the homeless. I'm all over the place when it comes to that.
For sure. So like when I end up coming up with the whole aspect of one day I want to be a philanthropist, it all like kind of started with growing up, seeing people like Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, like those type of leaders in the black community that really showed me like, okay, they left some type of legacy around, and my whole mindset around it was like, when I get to a certain age, I want to leave a legacy for my family and my kids and like my family that come after me. So like, what was your whole mindset around like becoming a philanthropist and stuff like that? Like, what was your main goal that you was thinking about when you wanted to do it?
Well, my main goal was to, like I said, just be there. I know as not only a young black male, but also being the only child, it's like I was solo dolo a lot of the time. So I understood when I had friends and colleagues that had, you know, relatives as far as like brothers and sisters and stuff like that. They had a certain type of support system. However, I did have individuals around me that was like me. It was just them. So I wanted to, that lit a spark to say, you know, I want to be there for others and help them, and when they need a helping hand or shoulder to cry on, or somebody to listen to or talk to, I wanted to be that person.
So the reason why you here, in addition to all that great, awesome stuff, is we got to dive into, man, this book, man, the 3F theory, man, unlocking success in all of your life, man. So I'm excited about getting into that. But before we get into that, man, definitely want to get into, man, like what inspired you to be an author?
Man, a lot. Just really my life. And that's kind of what caused the 3F theory to come about. You know, it's been something that's been on my mind, something I've been formulating for years, and just really never put the pen to the pad until, you know, now. But it's really just a form of help. That's where it all comes from. Just looking at the trials and tribulations of my life, things that I've overcome, and how I've overcome them. You know, it's like I'd rather put that out there and let people read it, and hopefully that can steer them and guide them in the right direction. You know, frequent action, faith, and focus, the 3 F's. You can overcome anything with those 3 F's.
That's what's up. So give us, I guess, each one of the F's, give us something to take with us. We don't want to give away everything because we want people to read the book, show love, purchase, and everything.
Well, the first F, frequent action. You know, with frequent action, it's just basically being consistent with whatever it is you're doing. And that's why I say unlocking success in all aspects of life, because with the 3 F's, as long as you follow that concept and that foundation, no matter if it's friendship, relationship, entrepreneurship, whether it's your regular 9 to 5, you can be successful as long as you stay consistent with the 3 F's. So, like I say, the first F, frequent action, being consistent. Once you put your mind to it and you understand that plan, you have to every day put forth action to accomplish that goal. Once you start getting off track, then the frequent action goes out the window and you derail the whole process.
No doubt, man. So I want to delve into, for those aspiring authors, man, take us through that writing process when you're creating something.
Well, the writing process is, it depends on the person. Like I say, you know, I come from a musical background, so I'm used to writing songs and things like that. But I would say the easiest route to go is just to format what it is you want to say, the subjects and topics. You put that down first, and then those become your chapters. Once you have the chapters, then you just expound on each chapter and then put it together, edit it, and then there you go. It's a simple process, but if you're not dedicated to whatever it is you're writing about, that's what makes it hard. You just doing something, just do it. You're gonna have a lot of problems.
So tell us, man, what do you enjoy most about writing? Build on what you just said, because that of course is some enjoyment right there. But build on that more.
It's an outlet. I would imagine, especially when I was an artist and I was writing music, I used writing as an outlet at that time as well. But writing a book, you know, you have to dive deeper and you have more, I would like to say, a bigger canvas to actually get your point across and to just dive into whatever that subject is.
So I was actually listening to when you was talking, and I heard something in that I want to expand on a little bit. You said at one point in time you were an artist. So let's expand on that a little bit. What was that like as far as like your career, like certain things you accomplished, and then what ended up getting you to the point where you ended up transitioning into something else, though?
Well, just having a love for music growing up is how I got there. At the time, before I even became involved into music in that aspect, I just met a few people, and then, you know, I saw that they rapped, and one of my close friends, his father owned a studio in his house in the basement. I used to always ask, like, who are all the guys that go down there? And then, you know, that's how it all kicked off. I befriended the guys. It was a group at the time. I think their name was Drycon, and I befriended the leader of the group. So he invited me down and just started teaching me how to use the MPC and all the equipment, and then it just went from there. But the transition from being an artist and producer, and I mean, I had my hands in a lot of it, was just me just growing into a different space. You know, I started seeing some things in the industry I just really didn't want to be a part of. And then I was like, you know what, it's time to exit left. So I still love music though. People still ask me to produce and stuff like that. So it never went anywhere.
Yeah, because I was sure finna ask, like how do you kind of like control that urge? Because like me personally, like being an artist, I don't know what I'd do without music as far as like not being able to make music, be around music. So for you to transition into other things and still like in some type of way be around music, like how do you cope with that? Is it like you just listen to certain music that you like now, or like you say you still produce or like do things like that?
Well, the first thing that I do try to listen to different types of music. You know, I listen to music differently because of my background. So, you know, when people hear my playlist, my iTunes playlist, they're like, you listen to that? Because it can be gospel. Next thing you know, it's trap. And next thing you know, from trap, it can be country. Like it's a wide variety of music that I listen to. So I'm listening to instruments, instrumentation, how it's mixed, reverb, all type of effects and stuff like that when I listen to it. What controls it is just really just keeping an ear to it, you know, and diving into just different songs and how it's composed. Also, just talking to other artists, you know, giving them advice and stuff like that, talking about production and engineering and just the aspects of it.
One thing I like about what you just said is the whole aspect of you don't just listen to one type of music. And then, cause it's like for me, I'm starting to get to that point, exactly what you're talking about. It's to the point where I find myself just listening to beats. Cause it's not even so much, like, yeah, it's the words mean a lot, don't get me wrong, but it's like once you get to a certain point in your career as an artist, you start to appreciate things like the different instruments and the beats, like the different like levels to it, like you said, reverb, all them different type of things. So I definitely understand what you said about that, because I find myself doing that a lot nowadays, just like listening to R&B music and all type of stuff. Like don't get me wrong, I grew up listening to R&B music. That's low-key how I fell in love with music, but it's like, it's a little different now that I actually make music. So it's like, you know how you, like as an artist, you can hear certain things in music, like you know when somebody should have said that differently, or they could have did this a little differently, like things like that, like those type of things stand out. So like when I listen to different type of music, I'm like, man, I didn't even appreciate what I was listening to back then, because I didn't even understand what I was actually listening to back then though. So I definitely get you when you say that. So I want to go back to you being as far as like a leader in this community though. So like, is it like a specific area that you work in most? Like you mostly be on the south side, west side, or is you just all around the city with it?
Well, I'm all around the city with it, but I'm more frequent. Like summertime, I'm west side most of the time, but I do frequent the south side also. Like we was just feeding the homeless on the south side, and we was feeding the homeless on the west side. So I try wherever there's help, I try to be there. You know, I was in Brooklyn and doing some work out there, but took some time to talk to some people out there and try to lend a helping hand while I was out there. So, you know, wherever I can help, I'm down. You know, I'm not trying to seclude myself to a specific area. I just want to be of service.
I like that a lot. So, transitioning back into your book, the 3 F's. So, like, how did that concept necessarily come to fruition? Like, I understand like what they mean, but like, how did it get to the point where you was like, okay, I want to call it the 3 F's, and I want to expand on these 3 facets, because if I feel like if we expand on this, I can change the mindsets of certain people.
Well, that part itself came from having a conversation with a close friend. And at the time, well, up until recently, I used to be real quiet about things that I went through. So I was explaining to him, like, man, you know, I spent some time in Cali. I lived in Cali for 10 years, but while I was out there, I went through a time to where I ended up being homeless. So he didn't know. A lot of people actually didn't know, even family. But having that conversation with him, it was the whole concept of, oh man, what about this? And how did you do this? And I kept coming across, you know, man, it was frequent action. You know, I just kept doing this, and this. And while I was doing that, you know, I just had faith that it would change, you know, but I stayed focused. And didn't have any distractions. And that was a common theme. And then once I just sat back and I just reflected on the conversation, I was like, without those things, I would have never came over. You know, I would have never made it through. Just putting feet to the pavement every day, you know, passing out resumes, filling out applications, making sure that I'm just putting my best foot forward every day. Even when I had a job, just going in there, staying focused, and making sure that I need to do what I need to do to get out of this position. And to not only get out of the position, but put myself in a better position within the company. I'm going to show them that I'm an asset. So I'm going to come in here, learn everything I need to learn, and stay with the frequent action, stay focused, have faith that I'm going to go from just an assistant manager to the branch manager. And then however far I can go, I'll just keep going from there.
That's what I'm talking about, man. That's the man in here dropping gems. He really dropping gems on y'all. So if y'all really listening and paying attention to what he's saying, like, he'll give you some game. That's all it really is. That's what it's really about, giving game though. Cause like, the crazy thing about it though, I feel like a lot of people, like, you would get them game, but in some type of way, you have to break it down differently for certain people. Cause a lot of people can't pick it up. you feel me, like you feel me, like how you just broke it down. It's probably people out there that's listening right now, but it probably went over their head the whole time, but they could probably actually use what you're saying though.
Yeah, definitely.
So as far as this book though, like, what's the format with it though? Like, how are you going about like putting out your ideas, giving out your theories and stuff like that? Like, how you go about doing it like that as far as the book though?
So the book is gonna expound on different just areas of life. You know, like I mentioned, friendships, relationships, work, just going after different positions in the job. Every chapter is going to dive into those, but within those chapters, it's going to break down how each F is going to help you get to the next level within that subject. So it's like with anything, and I tell people all the time, with anything that you want to do in life, you got to be consistent. You got to have frequent action. You can't just say, okay, I'm going to do this, and then today you do it, and then a week later you haven't done it again. Nothing's going to come about from that. But then while you're doing that, you got to have faith that it's going to work. You know, this faith is, you know, believing in something you can't see. So you have to continue and believe and have that faith that it's going to work. And then you have to stay focused, no distractions. You got to stay tunnel vision on that goal. So I just basically broke it down in those areas, and then each subject, that's how I broke it down. Like I would talk about frequent action and then expound on that, whatever that subject is, and then go down with each F.
Okay. So like in these different situations that you talk about, are they just based off your own experience, or are they based off other people's experiences too though?
Well, the majority of it is based off of my own experience, but however, some of my experience do come from speaking with others, watching other people, listening to them and talking to them, especially like my older, you know, aunts and uncles and things like that. I've watched a lot of them go through things too, and watched them persevere through certain aspects in their life. So it's a combination of everything. The majority of it has been me and my life, definitely, but I have pulled bits and pieces from other things around me to keep it well-rounded.
Sure. So like even that though, let's speak on that a little bit, like as far as like certain people in your life that have got you to the point where you are mentally, because I feel like in some type of way, it's hard to get to a certain place mentally if you don't really have that certain type of guidance. So like what's some certain people that you could just highlight, not that many, but just like certain people in your life that helped you transition to the mindset that you have now?
Oh man, definitely my mom. My mom, she's been mom, you know what I'm saying? She's been solid. I know, you know, I have people that's close to me that can't say the same thing, but my mom has definitely been solid my whole life, man. She's always been there, even when I was 3,000 miles away in Cali. I was out there for 10 years and she was there, you know what I mean? Whatever the problem was, whatever advice it was, however I was feeling, she was there, you know, even when I wasn't voicing it. It's this weird thing, I guess, you know, you can contribute that to the intuition. I don't even have to say nothing. The phone rings. She like, you all right? You good? And then like, man, well, now that you're on the phone, you know, we can talk about this. But yeah, man, definitely her. My grandfather passed away, but my grandfather, man, he was something else, man. But he would give advice in a not so traditional way, but if you was able to skim through all the things that he was saying, you can actually get the meat and potatoes of what he was saying, man.
He said meat and potatoes. I like that metaphor right there. He gave an old metaphor. He said meat and potatoes. What you know about that, man?
See, I knew that was coming to me. I knew the second he said meat and potatoes, it was coming to me, man. He's really trying to bring out this whole like age difference, 20-year age difference, man. I love it. I love it, man. I love it, man.
But he give me so much game at the same time, though. That's another reason I just play with him a lot with it, though, because he give me so much game with that 20 years span he got.
That's what that experience do, man. That's what that experience do.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So, yeah, man, like, that's a really dope term, man. Kudos out to Pierre and Dean, man, for putting that out there, man. I want to recap real quick, man. Tell people where they can definitely get the book, man. You know, I want people to get this book. And
most definitely. Well, you can definitely get it from 3ftheory.com. You can go to Amazon and just look up 3F Theory. It's on there. It'll take you directly to it. You can go to pierredean.com. You can get it from there as well, my own personal site. I'm posting it regularly on my social media. So Mr. PM Dean on pretty much all social media platforms. You can click the link on whatever post that's there. I'm quite sure it's saved in the bio.
So you know what I want to ask is, man, is, you know, a lot of times when people write books and they have like a title like you have, it sparks conversation. Mm-hmm. So what's some different things that you've heard from people that have read the book that they, you know, like started a conversation with you, which that in return started a conversation with a bunch of other people on social media?
Man, one of the things that kind of threw me off was someone read the title and then started reading the book and then reached out and was like, I thought this was something different. You know, I thought you was going against the grain, you know, the Christian grain with it, because theories is normally, you know, the opposite of what, you know, faith is and things like that. And I'm like, well, one of the F's is faith, so it's not going too far love with that. But that was one of the ones. Another one was just, I guess, positive feedback. You know, a lot of people say, I had a few people reach out and they was like, you know, these are things that I thought about but never was able to really formulate what it was and how I overcame it. But the 3 F's is definitely it. And then also that's the, you know, the other side of it, which made me think about the 3 F's in a different manner, because a lot of people use the 3 F's and don't even know it. You know, sometimes they don't even pay attention that it's the frequent action, faith, and focus that got it through. But then reading the book, they're like, you know what, I've always done that. I just didn't look at it in that light. I didn't look at it in that format. But, you know, it's been all good. It's been all positive feedback. I haven't got anything negative yet. So I got some people that's putting up some reviews on Amazon soon. They're close to finishing the book. And just continuously pushing it, man. It's a blessing. I'm enjoying the whole process.
Well, that's what's up, man. Social media wise, man, how can we follow your movement, man? Everything that you're doing, man. I love how you're in the community, man. I didn't want to do it during the interview. I think he sees where I'm going with this, man. But when you said you was out west, I got a little bit excited. Only because Pierre doesn't know that I was born on the west side of Chicago. And so anytime somebody's giving back out west,
oh yeah,
I get real excited. A smile on my face. See, you even hear the smile in my voice, don't you?
Most up.
You know, I mean, I used to try to hide it, but now I don't hide it no more, man. I just tell people, look, it's a synergy. When folks is doing stuff from out west, so they from out west.
Hey man, west side is the best side, man. Don't get it twisted, man.
Come on, man. Stick your chest out and tell them.
Most definitely, man. But I'm on everything, man. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Man, it's Mr. PM Dean. That's the handle on all of it. TikTok, I'm on all of it.
Well, brother, man, we definitely appreciate you for coming by, man, and definitely our listeners, our viewers, man. You got some homework to do, man. You got to check out his book, man, The 3F Theory, man, Unlocking Success in All Life, man. You got to definitely check that out. We got more Fusion Radio in a second.